Hi everyone, Aidan here with eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at the RockyMounts GuideRail platform style bike rack on our 2020 Kia Sorento. Now, this bike rack is going to hold the bike in these trays and by the tires. Each tire has its own hoop that's going to hold it still, and that's going to mean zero frame contact, making it good for carbon frame and alternative frame bikes. And with the 60-pound weight capacity, it's going to be good for some e-bikes too. The GuideRail is a personal favorite of mine just because I like the way it works and I think it's really well built. With it, you have the ability to tilt away with bikes loaded, like many other platform racks of this class. We've got a blue handle at the end that we can pull and tilt the whole rack down, and it gives us a pretty large amount of tilt. So there's plenty of room to open up the hatch here on our vehicle, and get access to the back. So if we need something out of here, we can get it. Or it just gives us a good place to sit down and change our shoes before or after our ride. It just gives us a lot of room to do that and do it pretty comfortably too, without having to worry about unloading the bikes. I'll get the door closed here, and then the bike rack will just lift back up into place. You'll hear a click. It's a pretty small click, so it may not come through on the mic very well, but that lets us know that everything's locked in and ready to drive. At the end here, there's an integrated portion where we can put our included cable lock through. It's not really a cable lock so much as it's a large chain. That chain will loop through here, lock up at the end, and keep our bike secure when we're not around. RockyMounts does advise against driving with it just because it is so heavy and might damage the bikes. With this, getting unloaded is pretty straightforward. We've got blue levers at the base that we can flip open. That's going to unlock the ratcheting mechanism. So now we can just push these arms away and get the bike unloaded. I like this method of doing it because it allows me to push the arms away from a place where I've got more leverage, and I can open them up pretty much as wide as I want. So everything's open for me to get even the large mountain bike off of there. I'll set this to the side, and the arms can just fold right back. And then once they're down, flip that lever, and that keeps them locked in place. That's what engages the ratcheting mechanism, like you can hear here. And we can check out some measurements now. First one being ground clearance. There's a really good rise in the shank, plus the stages are kind of tiered here. So the back platform sits up a little higher than the front. And at the back end, we've got about 21 inches of ground clearance. That's quite a bit of room, and I think we'll probably be just fine as far as ground clearance goes. For distance added to the back, from the bumper out to the end of the rack, it's 27 inches. So it doesn't stick out too far either, especially compared to some of the other bike racks we've worked with today. If we do want to leave it in the hitch between rides and bikes are unloaded, just use that same handle to fold it upright and save some space. Now only sticking out 10 inches. So it's a lot more condensed and easier to pull into a parking spot. I will say it does come a little bit closer to the bumper than some other racks out there. You've got probably about 1.5 inches of space, if I had to guess. Yep, 1.5 inches of space right here. But it's a very stable bike rack, and we really don't have much movement here at the pivot point, so I'm not worried about vehicle contact. Moving on down, we've got it working with our 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube, and it comes with a locking anti-rattle bolt that keeps things solid and secure in the hitch. Key to the lock up top, so everything's under one system. And I just like to point out, in this folded state, it doesn't block your license plate at all, and it leaves your backup camera pretty open as well. You probably will still see it, but it's going to be very visible with it in this folded state, so it won't be super obtrusive to your vehicle. And overall, like I said, the GuideRail is a personal favorite of mine. I think it works really well, I think it's built really ruggedly, and it fits really well on the Sorento here. So for me, that just makes me like it even more, and I think it's an easy thing to recommend. Thanks for watching.